The current president abruptly dropping his re-election bid to a former president surviving not one but two assassination attempts and then winning the White House. 2024 will be a year to remember in American politics. And what about the big stories here at home? I took a look at the top 10 most viewed power and politics stories on News12.com and the News 12 app. Number 10, a former aide to Governor Kathy Hochul living on Long Island is charged with being a Chinese spy.
I'm scared. I don't know what else to say.
Federal prosecutors say Manhasset's Linda Sun used her position in state government to benefit the Chinese Communist Party, receiving millions of dollars in kickbacks for her secret work.
If they thought that she was important enough to get $4 million, then she must be doing either doing damage or capable of doing damage to the people of New York and the people of the United States.
Number 9, President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks are swatted, including the Shirley home of former Congressman Lee Zeldin.
We received an email in the police department with a threat to Lee Zeldin's house.
Zeldin says a pipe bomb threat was made against him and his family. Fortunately, they weren't home at the time, and police were able to deem the home safe. Zeldin is President-elect Trump's pick to lead the EPA. Number 8, Hempstead Town Councilman Chris Carini dies suddenly while visiting family in Florida.
That's one thing I can just ask them just to remember him by, that he really cared and he loved his community and his family.
The Seaford Republican passed away in July, leaving behind a wife and 2 children. Number 7, Democrats flip one Long Island House seat and hold on to another.
My great pleasure to introduce you to your new Congresswoman from the 4th Congressional, Laura Gillen.
Former Hempstead Town Supervisor Laura Gillen defeated Republican incumbent Anthony D'Esposito and will represent the 4th Congressional District. Congressman Tom Suozzi won his second election of the calendar year, narrowly defeating Republican challenger Mike LaPetri. But it's Republicans who will have the slim House majority when Congress is sworn in later this week. And number 6, New York's controversial Clean Slate Law takes effect. It means that some convicted criminals will be eligible to have conviction records automatically sealed 3 years from sentencing for misdemeanors and 8 years from sentencing for felonies. Supporters say it will remove barriers to jobs and housing, but family members of crime victims continue to speak out against it.
David is gone forever. He's gone. He doesn't get a clean slate.
Number 5, property tax hikes in several Long Island communities.
I'm not happy. I think we pay enough.
We've worked hard to keep that number down as low as we can.
Taxes are going up in towns from Hempstead to Riverhead. Lawmakers are citing inflation and new state mandates for the increases. Number 4, intense pushback against the State Education Department directive that mandates school districts develop a plan to share resources.
Our schools, our rules.
Long Islanders led the charge against so-called regionalization. Ultimately, the State Education Department changed course, allowing districts to opt out of the plan. Districts must do so by mid-January. Number 3, more plume problems. In May, the U.S. Navy announced that the toxic plume originally below the old Grumman site in Bethpage is moving about a foot a day, reaching as far south as the Southern State Parkway.
The Sentinel wells have detected a plume contaminant. It's 1,4-dioxane.
This as the cleanup continues at Bethpage Community Park decades after the plume was first discovered. Number 2, the end of an era at intersections across Suffolk.
The red light program has ended. Yeah! Goodbye!
Suffolk County's red light camera program comes to an end. Lawmakers allowed the program as a whole to expire, and a judge struck down the administrative fees that both Nassau and Suffolk counties tacked onto your bill. Lawsuits have already been filed by some drivers to try and claw that money back. And the number 1 most viewed News 12 Power and Politics story of 2024, Donald Trump holds a campaign rally at Nassau Coliseum.
It's been many years, but finally I feel like, we're going the right direction.
Thousands flocked to Uniondale to show their support for the Republican candidate for president. Perhaps it was a sign of what was to come. In the election, Trump won the Electoral College. He became the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years, and he defeated Vice President Kamala Harris in both Nassau and Suffolk counties.